Good afternoon, my friends. Welcome back to your favorite Ford Figo maintenance and tips channel. Today I've got another repair slash maintenance video for you guys, and this one is entailing the cooling system and is replacing the water pump on a Ford Figo. Now I'm going to try to do this the easy way so that we do not have to cut or take off the timing belt, and there is a way to do that. So I'm going to show you guys step by step what to do to replace your water pump on your Ford Figo. So the first and most noticeable step is you'll require a jack, and I am using some jack stands because I'm going to lift the car up, place them on the jack stands because you're going to loosen up your engine mounting. It just makes it easier to access the water pump when you're able to jack up your engine to get your ratchet or your spanner in on those inaccessible places. So the things in your engine bay that will come out, obviously the expansion tank will come out, your air filter box will come off, and then your timing belt cover, as well as the alternator is coming off as well. So that means we have to go underneath the car and take off the fan belt as well as the power steering belt to be able to access all the bolts that we need to get off. Now that the car is jacked up, take a long flat screwdriver. You can take a hex if you have it, but it's not that hard with a screwdriver, and just loosen your timing chain belt cover. There should be 2 of these. I usually like to just put the screws or the bolts in the places where I know I'll find them, so that one stays in there and this one will pop right up in there. Move that one side, and now we'll take off the power steering belt as well as your fan belt. So what I'm going to do before I take off the fan belt is to take out the water bottle so I can access this top engine mount, and I want to use the leverage of the fan belt to be able to loosen the 4 bolts that are on the water pump pulley. So let's do that. Like I said, you want to loosen this top engine mounting. You might have to move your power steering bottle out of the way just to get to that 3rd bolt, but there are 3, and now I want to take off those 3 so that the engine mount can come off completely. Then we'll take off the air filter box so we have more access to the bolts for the timing belt cover. Okay, once you have the engine mounting off, you'll see there's a bunch of these 10mm nuts or bolts that you have to take out to get off the timing belt cover, and then you'll access those 4 bolts on the water pump pulley to get the water pump pulley off. Then we can take off the belts. It's easier. I'm going to take off that torque mounting on the gearbox just so we have more access to jack up the engine to access those 4 bolts of the water pump. So once you have taken off or out the bolts from that mounting, you want to lower your engine down so you have access to those 4 bolts on the water pump pulley. So once you have your water pump pulley off, you'll need to start taking off these little 8mm bolts to get off your timing belt cover so that we can access the bolts of the water pump. You can already access 2 of them, but the rest of them are behind the timing belt cover. Okay, after you've taken off all the 639,000 little bolts that hold on this cover, you'll see some of them are there. I am honestly I think I'm missing a few, but yeah, now that we have that off, we have access to the water pump. So let me just show you quick. So there we have access to all the bolts of the water pump. The cam bolt might be in the way a little bit, but we are able to work around that. One easier and alternative way that you can get to all of the bolts of the water pump is to simply take out your headlight. As you'll see, you'll have access to the full water pump down there, and so far I haven't had to take off the alternator. Let's see, give it a tug. I don't know if I'm missing one bolt somewhere that I didn't see. Let me double check and then I'll refer back to you guys if I find something.
The next day,
So this is where we left off yesterday. What I'm doing today, I'm extending this video. I am going to be replacing the thermostat as well. So I'm going to take off the cradle and everything that I did the other day to get the cradle off, just so I can get all the water pump or the coolant things sorted and know that it's not going to be an issue. So we are going back through everything, taking off the cradle, the bumper, the bash bar or the crash support, so we can get to the thermostat.
I'm changing who I am. I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again. You ain't see me activated. You better hope that you never.
Okay, so we got the cradle back off. Now we have to access the bolts that are holding in the thermostat back there. So I'm going to take off these radiator hoses, as well as this pipe that goes to the heater core. I do have a new one of these, so I'm going to replace that anyway, and then put in the new thermostat. Okay, so we have the thermostat housing off. You'll see I also removed the alternator, because to do the timing belt you have to take off the alternator bracket as well. But the thermostat housing has 4 8mm, get inside there, 4 8mm bolts that you take out. Then you clean up there around the thermostat over there and place in the new one. It's May from the future. I'm interrupting this video quickly to just explain a little bit of what I did regarding the thermostat. I almost blew my engine because of a faulty thermostat. So just know that you have to test your thermostat after you've purchased it, just to see if it opens up on the degrees. One way of doing that is boiling water in your kettle and then dropping your thermostat in. This diaphragm should open, but the one that I bought, I actually learned this after driving it, after bleeding the system, after I reinstalled everything, that it wasn't working. So I took it out, put it in the hot water, it didn't open up. So this is my old one. So the new one that I did buy from Goldwagen. The easiest way to save yourself your engine and to make your car run very cool, I mean like 70 degrees pretty much the whole way, is to cut these little tabs, that one there and that one there. Cut that off, and then you remove this little spring and diaphragm. Then you insert the rubber o-ring plus the circular piece of metal back into the thermostat housing. You need to do that, otherwise your thermostat will leak. So save yourself the headache. Do that and you know your car will run cool regardless. One other tip I have for you in regards to the water pump: if your heat gauge comes on every now and then and it goes off as soon as you rev the car or you start accelerating a little bit harder, that is a telltale sign that your water pump is starting to go. Back to the video of the high temp RTV around the thermostat housing, just to make sure that we don't have any leaks. It does have 2 gaskets, but you can't be overly cautious. Hey guys, I finally got the correct water pump from Goldwagen. This is the new water pump. That's what it looks like on the outside. That's what my old one looks like on the outside. And then if you compare it insides to insides, this is where you'll see the big difference. You'll see the corrosion on the old water pump there, so I'm assuming that's why it stopped working. But yeah, time to replace it and get everything back together. I got the old tensioner on. I'm not going to replace the timing belt now because I can't get the crank pulley loose, so I'll do that later. But we just want to torque down the tensioner onto the new water pump. I'm using I wouldn't say pneumatic, but a cordless impact gun. Just give it a few clucks. And that should be good. So I got a Allen key in there. I reset the timing on this so we are able to reuse the same tensioner. Now we have to finagle this new water pump back into position. And obviously remembering the sequence in which I did everything, what I want to do is also just add some RTV to the water pump side as well as the gasket side, so that we know it makes a good seal. And you'll see they supply new water pump bolts with the Ford Figo water pump gasket, which is obviously a benefit. So, like I said earlier, you have to take off the alternator bracket to be able to get the water pump out. So next time when we do this, we'll just repeat the process. But this should go in a lot easier. So I know it seems excessive, but taking everything off just makes it so much easier to access everything that you need to access, which in turn helps you not having to struggle. I just need to remember where the last bolt is. Where are ye? Space as well. So what I'm going to do, I just tighten the bottom one quite tightly and move to the top one to make sure we have a nice even seat on the water pump, and then I'm going to go across. And then that should seal the deal. The next thing is we need to get our timing. Correct. So let me move you guys over. Okay, so for the timing, you want to take your 18 socket. You want to make sure that your piston is at top dead center. So what I did is I took my spark plug out and I got a long screwdriver in there, and you want to see where the screwdriver starts to float. That you know is TDC on your piston. So mine's going down already. I just want to give you guys another piece of advice when it comes to setting the timing on your Ford Figo or any of the 1.4 Duratec motors without the VVTi. Grab yourself one of these kits on Takealot. It is $180, 230 if you do delivery. It's going to save you a lot of headaches in setting the timing and having to retake apart everything to get the timing set correctly. It happened to me, so I just ordered the kit and it helped me tremendously get the timing exactly spot on. So this thing screws into, there's a little bolt hole in the back of the block that locks your crank, and then the little plate here locks into your cams if you take off the tappet cover, and that ensures that you're able to set your timing. And there's a little pin for the tensioner. So this thing is required if you want to make sure that your timing is 100% correct, because Ford didn't put timing marks on the cam or on the crank. You see, timing is spot on. I just reset it quickly. Now we get that alternate bracket back in. Anyway, so just like that.
Agitated, I think about my actions, plan them out, evaluated. That's how I end up on the top, man, I'm calculated. My mind's a weapon, my body is the engine. I'm never second guessing, I just do what I was destined. Cause I feel I got the blessing, persistence and obsession. That's how you keep progressing, I already learned that lesson, yeah. I'm changing who I am, I'm making a new plan, rearranging FordFigo. No fear, see clear, you deserve to be great. I know it feels like things.
Now we just have to repeat the process of reinstalling everything that we had to take off to get all of the stuff done that we needed to. Starting the alternator, you want to hear it click. There you go. Then finagling it back into this bolt. To remember to use a 6mm to tighten
Those walls and the others will fall. Sit up, stand tall, you can get through it all. I need some energy, anxiety's no friend to me. I have a short memory, I don't really remember things. That's how I move on, that's how I stay strong. A new day's on, I'll keep moving right along. And I feel like the pain in the past, it needs to stay in the past.
See how much easier it is when you just take everything off. Everything is accessible. Okay, that's the alternator done. But before I put the cooling system in, I need to replace the engine mounting, which I bought new, which I'll show you guys now. And then I've got new caps for both of these, as well as the expansion bottle. Just to give you a bit of an idea, here's my, I was wondering why there was a clanking sound, but this is my old engine mounting. It's not supposed to be able to do that. And then this is the new solid beefy boy, so car should put down the power a lot better. So if you guys remember at the start of the video, I had an odd way of getting these out, so we'll probably use the same odd way to get them back in. Just make sure the threads are not cross-threading. It's the one thing that scares me the most about working on a car, is remembering where each and every bolt goes. But if your placement is good, or where you place your stuff, then you will not have a problem.
I wanna feel like I'm a new person. I wanna have clear vision and purpose. And I feel like the patient lasts. If you can move on and past the things that make you feel bad, and you can change in your brain, I'm certain. I've done it before, and man, I'm not perfect. I'm changing who I am. I'm making.
So there's still some movement. Now let's get underneath the car and do the bottom torque mount. This is my next bit of a problem, because we have to get this mount to line up, which currently it isn't. So I'm just gonna try to lower the jack and see if it does anything. After a very big struggle, I'm still here because I had to go get a different thermostat housing. Mine was warped because of the heat, so I'm going to put back the Cradle with the headlights now. This RTV takes 1 hour to set, so I'm going to have to leave the car for a while before I put in water to see if it's still leaking.
Day 3.
Good morning, everyone. After a long, stressful day yesterday, we are finishing up and buttoning up the Ford Figo after replacing engine mountings, water pump, as well as the thermostat and thermostat housing. So I left the RTV to set overnight. I'm going to go in now, pour in the antifreeze and see if we have any leaks. I hope not, and then also see if the timing is right, because if not, I have to strip everything back apart to set the timing correctly. So far no leaks. I'm going to start the car, so we're going to see if the timing is right and if there are any leaks. That means the timing is not right. I'm taking everything apart. struggling. The coolant is finally bled. The new engine mounting is in. The thermostat housing and the new water pump is in. There's quite a bit of a struggle to bleed the system. Take some patience, but you'll get it right. The last thing I'm going to do for ending of this video, I bought 3 new caps, expansion tank, brake fluid, and a power steering pump reservoir caps. So I'm going to put that on quickly, and we'll see what it looks like with new caps. So as you can see, all 3 of these caps are looking absolutely horrendous. These have been on the car since I actually got the car. So I'm going to do some YouTube magic. All of them are replaced. As you can see, quite a big difference, especially the coolant reservoir cap. 11 years on the caps, not bad. I think that's why I buy OEM. So my friends, thank you for joining in for another how-to video and a DIY. I really appreciate all of you guys that are always tuning in, leaving comments and asking questions. I really appreciate your support. Hope you guys have a blessed afternoon and good luck with your future projects, attempting things yourself. I hope this video was useful and helpful. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment down below if this is something that you will be trying yourself to save some money. Cheers.
Memphis, man.